Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Um, my name is Debbie Hibbard. I want to welcome you to Read, Learn, Discover at the State Library. And just a little about myself. I am a circulation and marketing librarian here at KDLA. And I am joined today by Alexis Payne. She is our circulation administrative specialist, and she is going to be manning the chat room. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to chat those in to Alexis, or if you have any kind of sound or technical issues, just let her know about that too, and she'll be able to help you with that. If I'm speaking too low, please let me know. I tend to be a soft talker, so just shout that out to me and I will try to raise my voice a little bit. I also need to let you know that this webinar is being recorded, and there will be a recording available within a week that will go onto our archived training sessions page. And finally, I'm going to enter a link here in the chat to give you one option for streaming or using captioning if that is something that you would like to use or need. And that should show up there. That's stream text. That is a link that will view in a separate window. You should also have something at the top of your screen that says that if you click yes on it, you will see the captions within Collaborate. So feel free to use that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So a couple of things that I want to go over today, and then at the end we should have, I think, plenty of time for questions, hopefully. I just want to give you some information about the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives mission, our customers, and our services. I kind of just want to let you know what else is available within our agency besides just state library services, because you or someone you know may be able to benefit from other things that we do here at KDLA. So I'm going to go over that. And then also I will be going over the state library services that are offered to state employees, and specifically how you can benefit from your state library account. This is a free account. We've always said we are the best kept secret in state government. We're trying to get the word out and any way that we can. So after the webinar, spread the word, let people know that they can apply for an account and it's free, and we send materials right to your office, and there's all kinds of other digital options as well. Okay. So this is a picture of our office. We are located at 300 Coffee Tree Road. We are right next to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And it's a very nice, pleasant place, kind of park-like in a way, so please come and visit us. And just to give you some brief background information so that you know where KDLA fits in state government as a whole, we are housed within currently the Cabinet for Education and Workforce Development. We are in the process of merging with the Labor Cabinet, so will soon be the Cabinet for Education and Labor. And our current mission is to support and promote access to library services and to ensure that documentation of government activities is created, preserved, and made available for public use. And as part of that mission, some of our key functions include providing library resources and training to state government employees. We also maintain the state archives and manage local and state government records, and we support and promote public library development throughout the state. Also, something to know about KDLA is that we've evolved many times over the years, and we serve a wide variety of customers. The first state library was created in 1809 by order of the General Assembly, and it was essentially a law library at the time. So we have expanded, and there is now a separate law library in the state that is not part of the state library. But we do a lot of different things, primarily for state government employees and public library staff across the state. For example, for public library staff, we supplement their collections with materials like large print books, audiobooks, and book kits for clubs, and also programming kits for adult and children's librarians. And anyone that lives in Kentucky can also get a state library card, and they can check out materials or use computers on site. However, most of our services to people outside our two primary customer groups are somewhat limited. Most of the services available to Kentucky residents have to be accessed here on site.
Account numbers, if they already have accounts.
Okay, and as far as how you find out your account number, you can just, I'll be showing you Ask a Librarian. That is an email, and you'll also have my email at the end of the webinar, and I can send you your account number. It's real easy to either get an account set up or, to access your account number, and I can give you that. Okay, so some organizational information. Just to give you an idea of how KDLA is organized, we do have two divisions. That's Library Services and Archives. Archives also includes Records Management. And we're kind of unique in that we are one of only, I believe, 6 other states that combines library and archival services. Most other states have them separated. On the library side, we do have 2 branches. The first branch is the Customers and Collections branch, and that includes our state library, and the Kentucky Talking Books Library. Now, Talking Books is considered our sister library. When people hear the term Talking Books, they usually think audiobooks, but that's actually not what they do. They are a free library service for people who cannot read traditional print, either because of a visual, physical, or reading or learning disability of some kind. And they have audio and braille materials that they send out to users, postage free by mail, that can be downloaded from the internet. They also have a special talking book player, which is provided on loan. And they've been in operation since 1969. They're part of the National Network of Libraries that's administered by the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled, which is a branch of the Library of Congress. So they actually are a quasi-federal library in some respects. Also, we have library development, and library development branch helps public libraries across the state. We give grant money out. We have continuing education for library staff. We do technology assistance. There are E-rate webinars, and there's a consultant who helps libraries to get funding for internet services and other types of technology services. And also just consultation, working with boards of trustees, different things of that nature. And then on the archive side, we have 4 main branches. Archival Services provides access to all the records that are held by the state archives. We do have an archives research room, and it's open to the public. A lot of people come in to do genealogy research, and other people come in to research court records and things of that nature. The records that are included are all public records generated by a government agency, and these can include deed books, marriage records, will books, tax lists, circuit and appellate court case files, census records, some military records, and records from many state agencies, and that includes the governor's office. We also have the State Records Branch, and they provide training and consultation to state agencies to decide which records that they need to keep and which ones they can destroy in accordance with the requirements of Kentucky's State Archives and Records Act. And then we have the local records branch. They kind of do the same thing as the state records branch does, and they help local government offices like county clerk offices, public libraries, and other types of local government offices. They manage grant money that helps them to preserve their local records. And then they also finally have the electronic records management branch, and that provides advice and technical support and training to both state and local agencies in regards to their born digital records, and also to providing access digitally to their print records, getting those digitized. So that, in a nutshell, is what KDLA does. And I'm just going to show you our website here. You can see at the top in the blue menu, we have all of our different customer groups represented. And so we've got the librarians, we have our archivists and researchers, and state employees, and then records management. Now, in the middle there, I have in yellow circled the collection connection, and I just wanted to point that out to you because we do have a quarterly newsletter, the state library does, and we send this out to anyone that has a library account with us. And that's just to kind of keep you connected to us in terms of what are our latest titles that we have available, both in ebooks and digital materials, and also in our physical collection. Any new initiatives that we have going on. I usually spotlight a database, one of our research databases, in that quarterly newsletter. So that is something that you know, probably if you have a library account, you'll be getting that a few times a year, or you can always go to our rotating feature on our website to also access that if you're interested. Okay, and this is the lobby of this library. That sculpture, that wooden sculpture, goes back to when the building first opened in 1982. It's created by a man named Bobby Reed Falwell. He was a sculptor and craftsman from Murray, Kentucky. Okay, so I'm going to list all of our services, and then I will go over each one in more detail here. So all of the library services that we have for state employees, we have a physical collection of books, and also includes CD audiobooks and DVDs. We have a downloadable collection of ebooks, audiobooks, and streaming video. We have electronic research databases, library loan, an Ask a Librarian service, and a variety of training resources. Okay, as far as our physical collection is concerned, we're a little different probably than your public library. We try to focus mainly on workplace topics, but we also have some fiction, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. We also have a Kentucky collection, which is the first item listed there, and that's basically all things Kentucky. So as the state library, we kind of felt like it's our duty to make sure that we collect Kentucky authors, books about famous Kentuckians, so biographies and autobiographies, and any kind of nonfiction about the history of Kentucky, just things of that nature. So anything Kentucky related, you will find in our Kentucky collection. We also have a collection of health and wellness topics that we are trying to refresh. Right now we're going through a big refresh with that in terms of getting new titles. And this is on a variety of different health subjects, personal finances, retirement planning, parenting issues. The idea being that you know, if we can provide resources that help you in terms of being a happier and healthier employee, then that is something that we can do to support your work for state government. And so that's why we collect those books. We also have of course, books on workplace topics. So these are going to be different types of computer skills, software applications, customer service, any kind of human resources or management, communication skills, anything that would have to do with the workplace. And then we also have a collection of large print books. Now these were books that originally we purchased for circulating collections that we send out to public libraries, because large print books are very expensive and smaller libraries in particular may not have the budget for them. So this allows us to send books to these libraries that their patrons can use, and it helps them to provide a wider variety of things to their patrons. We also have large print nonfiction books as well. We did open these up to state government employees because one of the feedback that we've gotten on surveys in the past is that people were kind of disappointed that we didn't offer any kind of fiction books other than the ebooks. And so that's why we opened up our large print collection, so that if you want a physical fiction book, you can get that, but it will be in large print, which frankly I like large print. I'm not quite to the point where I absolutely need it, but it kind of find it easier on the eyes. Okay, we also have audiobooks. These are both fiction and nonfiction titles, and they are CD audiobooks. Same situation as with the large print books. We got these for public libraries to send to them to supplement their collections. However, we have also opened those up to state government employees. So if you still use CD audiobooks, then we have a wide array, a huge collection of them. We also have DVDs. These are primarily for training, and they include topics on supervisory skills, communication, diversity, safety, and so on. So we do have some of those. If you do any kind of training for your agency, those are available. And then we have an electronic collection, and this collection includes something that I think a lot of people use. It's probably our most popular feature for state government employees, and that's the Kentucky Libraries Unbound downloadable collection. Kentucky Libraries Unbound is a consortium of public libraries and others across the state that have pulled money together in order to provide this resource to Kentuckians. And so we make this available to state employees. It is a collection of ebooks, audiobooks, digital audiobooks, and streaming video. It is powered by a company called Overdrive. So when you get on their website, you see Overdrive, and when you click on a help button, it'll take you to the Overdrive website. And then you also probably, if you are not in Lexington or Louisville, you have access to KLU through your public library, if your public library participates, and many do throughout the state. However, and the reason Lexington and Louisville don't is because they're large enough library systems that they can actually afford their own contract with Overdrive. So, but there are some small differences. I do have a KLU account with my public library, my county public library, as well as through my state library account, which, you know, you get lots more books that you can check out. There are some small differences in the collections. Your public library is probably going to have more copies of those really popular fiction books, the latest James Patterson or Nora Roberts, or I'm trying to think, The Night Watchman, which was, I think, last year's National Book Award winner. You know, they're going to have more of those types of titles and copies available. But we also have those. In addition, we also have lots of workplace topics, again, to try and provide resources for your work here in state government. So that's kind of what you will see in terms of differences between your public library KLU account and your state library KLU account. Okay, we also have electronic research databases. And these help you to find full text articles as well as citations from thousands of newspapers, magazines, professional journals, and encyclopedia articles. And some of these databases we have access to include Newsbank. Newsbank has most of the Kentucky newspapers. And it will let you search for newspaper articles from Kentucky and from around the world. And we do have webinars specifically on how best to use and search these databases, so I'm not going to go over each database with you today. I'm just going to give you later on kind of a brief overview of it. But be sure to check the training events calendar for upcoming trainings for these databases. Hopefully we'll get some more of those up and running soon. We do have some that are archived that you can watch. But if you do any kind of research in your job, then the databases are really good to get into and to help you with research. Okay, so how to find services and request services on our website. First of all, you go to dla.ky.gov, which is our website URL, and you're going to want to go to that state employees drop-down menu there in blue. And a good place to start is where it says State Government Employees Welfare page, because that kind of lists all the different services that we have with the links to each one. That page also has a search bar for our catalog, WorldCat Discovery. And you can also access WorldCat Discovery at the very bottom of that search menu there on the bottom, where it has KDLA circled in red, WorldCat Discovery. To sign in to WorldCat Discovery, you just go to, actually, if you go back one, if you click on that link in at the very bottom of that state employees drop-down menu, that is going to take you to a sign-in page. You click on sign in at the very top right-hand corner of the screen, and it will bring you to the page where you enter your library account number and your password. If you need to set a password for the first time, you can click on that set reset password link, and that will send instructions to you for setting your password. You can also reset your password if you've forgotten it or if you need to. I'm forever forgetting my passwords and constantly having to do that. So, and you see here is the page where it will let you request a new password. Okay, once you are signed in, it will change at the top and it's going to show your name, your first name. If you hover over that box, then a drop-down menu appears, and that allows you to access your account so you can see what you have checked out, if you have any holds or any charge of any kind. We do not charge overdue fees. We are unlike public libraries in that respect. We don't charge anything for overdues. We do charge if an item is not returned, if it's lost or damaged. And sometimes it depends on the situation. I don't always charge, but yeah, if something is lost and it's a newer item especially, we will probably charge for it. You can also renew your checkouts once you're in your account here, so that gives you access to your account. Okay, and I'm just going to briefly take you through a search in our catalog. It's kind of a unique and confusing catalog to some degree. In some ways it's wonderful, and in some ways it can be very frustrating. So we do have a more in-depth webinar about WorldCat Discovery Catalog, and it's also on the archive training sessions page. If you want to take a look at that and learn all the ins and outs of using this catalog. Okay, so let's say I am searching the term stress management, so I've got that put into the keyword search box there, and I am going to begin to type, and you see how it does that thing that Google does. It kind of shows you some suggestions underneath, or tries to guess what you're wanting to search. Okay, so be sure to notice the first result says held by Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives. The reason I'm pointing this out is when you search in the WorldCat catalog, you're not just searching for items in our catalog. WorldCat Discovery is supposed to be a catalog that lets you find results from libraries all over the country and even the world. It is a WorldCat OCLC is a consortium of libraries all across the world that have shared their item records. And so you can find any of those in WorldCat Discovery. And you see that just on the topic of stress management alone, there are 593,524 results worldwide. Of course, we do not have that many in our particular collection. That is, again, worldwide. Now, if you just want to see options from our library, if you look at that on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen where I've got that yellow arrow, it says Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives. You can click on that box and it will just show items that we have available. Also, this catalog, when you do your search, it's going to pull up everything but the kitchen sink, so to speak. You get books, you get audiobooks, you get DVDs, you get items from our digital collections, so ebooks, newspaper articles, articles from our electronic research databases. So the first item in the results you see here is the International Journal of Bioresource and Stress Management. Why did it bring that up first? I have no idea. It is held by us. It's an article that is in one of our research databases. You see it says eJournal Magazine and Academic Search Complete. Academic Search Complete is one of our research databases. So if you want to filter items, and say you're looking just for a book, you can filter by format. So if you were to scroll on down, which is what this screen represents, I have scrolled on down the screen. On the left-hand side is that filter menu. You can filter by format. So if you just want to see books, or if you just want to see audiobooks, you'll want to check one of those boxes. Also, you'll note over there on the right-hand side where it says there's available, and then there's a little green check mark that shows you whether an item is currently checked out or not. And then if you just click on the blue title, that's going to take you to the item record, which is going to give you some more information about the item. And in the item record, you'll get a description of the item. So you see that there in the middle, there's just a little summary. At the top, you have the option to create a citation. You can share the item record with anyone. It'll give you a link to that item record that you can copy and send to someone. You can also save it. And you see over here to the right-hand side, I've got the arrow pointing up. That is the option where you can request that we send it to your office. You can send it to, and that's typically what we do. We send them to your office. We make the materials available to you that way. Or you can come here and pick it up if you work here in Frankfort. Most people do use the send to my office option, and that's primarily how we're set up. We send that through messenger mail if you're here in Frankfort, or if you're outside of Frankfort, we send it to you via UPS with free return postage. Actually, we're using FedEx now. I forgot, our contract changed. But anyhow, we will be sending it to you, either your office or your home address, and you'll get free return postage. So it's going to cost you anything to get our materials. And if you do want to pick it up here at KDLA, there is a box here. When you request it, where you can put in some instructions, like if you want a specific copy or volume, or if you want to pick it up at KDLA, just say pick up at KDLA, and we will leave it at the guards desk for you. Okay, so some information as far as checking out materials. We are open to the public now. I guess we opened up. Gosh, I guess it's been since last July, maybe. I'm trying to think. It's been a little while that we've been open to the public again. We do encourage appointments if you're going to the research room to do any kind of research. For example, if you're doing genealogy research or anything like that, they do encourage you to make an appointment. Pre-COVID, we're open 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. However, since COVID, we're now currently open. I believe the research room is open 9 to 11:30 and 1 to 3:30. So they do have some time in there at lunchtime where they are closed. Nothing in our collection is browsable. If you're a person like me who loves to kind of go through the stacks and look at things, unfortunately, we're not set up that way. So the thing to do is either request that we have items sent to your office, or you can call here if you need some help finding something, and a staff member will be happy to help you find whatever you need, or kind of help you through that catalog, find what you need. We're also available by phone. In Frankfort, there's a 502-564-8306 number. If you're outside Frankfort or outside the 502 area code, there is a toll-free number, and you just click option 3. And we do answer phones from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. So checkout periods for our materials. Books and audiobooks are checked out for 4 weeks initially, and you can renew them for 2 weeks if there's not a hold on the item. And DVDs check out for 7 days, also available for renewal for a week if there's no hold on the item. And like I said, we try to make it really simple to get our materials. We just send them to you through messenger mail here in Frankfort. Or outside Frankfort, it is actually FedEx now, I believe, with return postage. We will send it to your home if you're currently working from home, and some people still are primarily working from home. We can send those to your home address as well. You'll need to include that information when you make your request. Basically, that's pretty much it as far as checking out our materials. You're more than welcome to come here and pick them up as well if you want to do that on your lunch break. Okay, as far as that downloadable collection is concerned, I'm going to go over that a little bit. It is a completely separate website. One way you can get to it through our website is to go to the State Employees drop-down menu and go to Downloading Audiobooks and eBooks, and that's going to take you to this page, and you will see a link there, Getting Started in KLU, and you can just click on that link. One thing that we do like to mention is if you are downloading something to your state-owned computer, or say it's work and you're doing some research and you want to download something, you do want to make sure that that's okay with your IT people, because it's different from agency to agency, I believe. Okay, so this is Kentucky Libraries Unbound's website, and they do have that helpful page from Overdrive to get you started. We also have a webinar on KLU from time to time throughout the year. There's also one that's on our archive training sessions page to help you learn how to navigate it if you haven't used it before. I love KLU. I check out things from there all the time. So on that main page, you can go to that help button if you need help getting started. Also, you go to that sign in, and just to kind of show you what that looks like if you're unfamiliar, it's going to take you to this page where you choose a library. Sometimes people get confused and they choose their public library, but for your state library account, there is an option there for Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives, and that's what you would choose. And that takes you to our authentication page where you'll enter a library account number and password, and then it takes you back. So you're going to see that My Account there, and that shows you what you have on hold, your loans. There's a wish list option. You can see what you've already checked out before, and then you can also choose whether you want to check out items for 7, 21, well, 7, 14, or 21 days, I believe, are the options. You can check out up to 12 items at a time, and you can have 10 on hold. And that's why it's nice if you have an account. If you do a lot of reading, if you're a really avid reader, having 2 accounts, your state library account and your public library account, can be very helpful. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea of the search in KLU, how that works, right here you go to that search bar, you put in, I put in the phrase communication skills, and these are the search results that I've gotten. You'll see there on the left-hand side some filters. You can choose only titles that are currently available for download, so that's kind of a nice option if you're looking for something that you don't have to be put on the wait list for. You can also filter for just ebooks or e-audiobooks. And the last thing I want to show you is be sure to check at the top of the book cover. That gives you whether it's available or if there's a wait list for it. You see this first one has a wait list. Talking as a Gift is available. It's all pretty easy and intuitive. And also, down here at the bottom, be sure to check the format because it will tell you whether it's an audiobook, whether it's an ebook. They often have more than one title in both formats. So especially if it's a fiction book, you'll usually see an option for audiobook and an option for ebook. Okay, and to borrow an item, you're just going to click there where it says to borrow. If you want to, and that is the option that's circled there at the bottom of the cover. You can also do place a hold. When you place a hold, that puts you in line for the book, and when it's available, you'll get an email that says it's available for download. At that point, you do have 48 hours from the timestamp of the email to check out the item before it will just go back into the queue for people who are waiting for it. And one thing that's really nice is you can see where you are on the number of copies available. For example, one book that I have on my wait list, I'm number 58 on 3 copies. So if you'd like to read a sample of the item first, those 3 dots there next to the title under the cover give you a drop-down menu, and that gives you some options. And you can either read a sample, you can view a summary. There's a You May Also Like option, which brings up similar titles. So a lot of things that are similar to some other websites, maybe where you get books. And when you want to download your item, if you have clicked on Borrow, you'll see this pop-up box, and that gives you your download options, and you can set your due date. Okay, as far as our electronic research databases, these are web-based access 24/7 to current information from reputable sources. You can also use them at home on your laptop or your PC or your mobile device. You have access to hundreds of full-text newspaper, magazine, professional journal, and encyclopedia articles. And you get email alerts when articles related to a topic of interest are added if you have set up those alerts in the research database. And the way you access those, we have a page. So under your drop-down menu on our home page, you go to Research Databases. And that is going to bring you here. We have a number of different databases that we subscribe to. Let me just give you a little overview on each one. We do, again, do webinars throughout the year that explain the individual databases and how to use them. So be sure to check, again, the training events calendar, see when those might be coming up. The first one is Bio1, and that focuses on scholarly journals, articles that have to do with biological, ecological, and environmental sciences. And we do subscribe to this database to support the work of folks, for example, who are in the Energy and Environment Cabinet or Fish and Wildlife. We get a lot of requests from them, also from our interlibrary loan research that they're doing. We also subscribe to JSTOR, and JSTOR has 12 million academic journal articles, books, and primary sources in 75 academic disciplines. And they are almost all journals that are peer-reviewed, so that's an excellent resource for some scholarly research. And if you're looking for an article in a Kentucky newspaper, we have Newsbank. It has almost all the Kentucky newspapers as well as newspapers from around the world. Now, the dates for those Kentucky newspapers go back about 10 to 15 years. I think the earliest one is about 1998. And generally before that time, you're going to have to get out the old microfilm to look. Unless it has been digitized, it is probably not, not in there. They do scan more and more of the older items every day, so, you know. But at any rate, now if you're looking for an article from the Louisville Courier-Journal, that is one of the larger metro papers that Newsbank does not have. They also do not have the Cincinnati Enquirer. So you can go to ProQuest for those. And ProQuest also has the Wall Street Journal. They have a lot of full-text scholarly articles as well, and lots of magazines and hundreds of newspapers. So ProQuest is also an excellent place to check. But again, most of the Kentucky newspapers are in Newsbank, except for the Louisville Courier-Journal, which is in ProQuest, and also the Cincinnati Enquirer is in ProQuest. The Lexington Herald-Leader is in Newsbank. And we also have the Kentucky Virtual Library, and that is a consortium of over 350 Kentucky libraries and other institutions that include colleges, universities, school libraries, and public libraries, and other hospital libraries as well. KYVL purchases and provides to member libraries across the state research databases. They also run a courier service that we use with public libraries to send our materials to public libraries. And that facilitates resource sharing among all of our different public and academic libraries in the state. And we also have, finally, DataAxle. And DataAxle used to be Reference USA. It is a directory of U.S. businesses and individuals, and it has enhanced financial and organizational information. So if you ever do any kind of research on various corporations or companies, you can go into Reference USA and get that kind of research. If you're trying to track people down for your job, Reference USA is a good place to go. Now DataAxle, I'm having a hard time remembering it's DataAxle now. Also, you can use it for, interestingly, for job searches, because they are hooked up with Indeed.com, so you can even do job searches with it. And the last two icons, WorldCat Discovery is just a shortcut to our catalog, and the HSDL is the Homeland Security Digital Library. They do have a lot of information on justice and public safety types of issues, and also I think a lot of the COVID research that's been done is also can be found there. It's a federal database that's free, and we include it on our website. Okay, interlibrary loan. This is another service we offer state employees, and so if we do not have something that you are looking for, either available to you through our physical collection or our research databases or what have you, we'll try to borrow it from a library that does own it. And there are a few caveats to that you should know about. Unlike your public library, what we get for you should be work related. We do have to kind of show that it supports you in your job. Now, again, if it's something that is along the lines of health or wellness, we can get those for you. We kind of stretch that definition a little bit to include health and wellness because we have those items in our collection, and we purchase those specifically for government employees. So we will get those for you through interlibrary loan. If it's about parenting, if it's about retirement, financial planning, any other types of things that are workplace topics as well that we don't have in our collection, we can get for you. Typically speaking, we cannot get ebooks. Most places are just not licensed to fill those requests. So it's an ebook, we won't be able to get it for you. But we can get articles, so like from our research databases, if you didn't find what you needed, but maybe in WorldCat Discovery you did discover an article that you would very much like to have, we can request that for you. If it's a physical item like a book and it's coming from California, it might take up to 3 weeks to get here. It really depends on where it's coming from in order of how fast we can fulfill your request. Not determine the due date on those items, so a lot of times if I get it and you've only got a week or so to actually use it, I will put in a request for a renewal. We can do that with the lending library. It's really up to the lending library to determine when it's due. And another thing about how long it takes to get the item, if it's an article, I mean, I have gotten those same day very frequently, especially if UK has it. We can get it for you the very same day usually. So that is our interlibrary loan service. The way that you request ILL, if you're looking in our catalog, you're just going to click on that title, and you're going to see over there to the right hand side access options, and it will say request through interlibrary loan, and you can just click on that, and you'll be taken to a request form. And when requesting the book, you know, if there are any special instructions, then just put those in there where it says optional information. We also have an Ask a Librarian service, and we provide reference services to government employees. If you have any questions about services, you have a circulation issue that you're having, if you have a research question, maybe you've Googled and researched and you just can't find what you need, you can let us do the research for you. We do have reference librarians that will either help you with research, point you in the right direction for resources, and so on. So you again would go to that State Employees drop-down menu to Ask a Librarian at the very top, and we have a information request form that you can fill out. This is also an excellent way to request an article or a book even if you are wanting something through interlibrary loan. So you can either request interlibrary loan through our catalog or you can request it through our Ask a Librarian form. And frequently that is how we get our interlibrary loan requests for articles for research, is through the Ask a Librarian form. Once you submit the button, that question is going to show up in our AskLib queue. And we do try to return, get something to you in terms of an answer within 24 hours, so at least let you know that we are working on your question. Also, we have training resources. Again, under the employees drop-down menu, you will see training calendar. I've kind of mentioned this several times throughout the webinar in terms of, you know, we do have a webinar on this topic or a webinar on that topic. This is where you will find our webinars, our live webinars, and when they're going to be. And all you have to do is go there and click on the title, and it will give you all the information, when it's going to be, the time, and you can register for it. And then I've also mentioned to you our archive training sessions page. That is where this archive or this recording will go in a week. Once we've got it up, it goes to our training resources page. And once you click on, everything is under State Library Resources and Services section. And you see here the Kentucky Libraries Unbound webinar that I was talking about, which gives you in-depth information about how to use that. We have Crash Course on the KYVL databases. We have a number of different webinars that have been recorded. And then we try to do live webinars too throughout the year. We also have training resources, a page that has been vetted by our continuing education section. And so that can be found under training resources, technology training for state employees. And it is loaded with resources to help you learn how to master any kind of the business or popular software like Microsoft Excel, Adobe Photoshop, and so on. You'll just click on that link, and that takes you to our very own YouTube channel. You can get on there. There are also one of our databases that's really popular that's in Kentucky Virtual Library is the Learning Express Library database. And there's a link to that on this page. Learning Express allows you to, you know, if you have someone in your family who's getting ready to take the ACT or anything like that, they have all kinds of practice exams, and they have various types of videos on using different software, and even on communication skills and all kinds of different things. So it's a really neat database. But at any rate, you can find out information for that on our training resources page. Okay, so we've come to the end of the webinar. I do need to let you know that we have to thank the Institute of Museum and Library Services for sponsorship of this webinar. We do get funding partially from them to provide services, and so we always want to include a thank you to them on our webinars. I just want to let you know we do have a survey that you can take. Let me put up the link for that. Got it. Okay, so I just put that in the chat. These surveys are just very short. Your responses are very important to us because they give us an idea of what you might like to see in the future in terms of training or anything else that you would like to see in terms of how we can help you and support you in your work. So please be sure to fill out the survey. If you are a week from now watching this again, or if you're watching it for the first time as a recording, you can also complete the survey still. So you can just click on that link in the chat and it will take you to a very, very short survey, and we really appreciate your feedback. There will be a certificate of attendance that will be emailed to you within a week, and if you get one, please be sure to email me. Do give it a week, maybe a little bit longer than that, but if you don't get your certificate of attendance, please be sure to email me. That's deborah.hibbert@ky.gov. And I want to thank you for being here with me this afternoon. I hope that this has been helpful and that you'll be able to find some of our resources that are relevant to your work and that you enjoy using, like KLU. And if you have any questions, you can always reach me at 8306 or that 800 option or through the Ask a Librarian form. Thank you, Jennifer. So, yes, Noah, it may take a few days to get the certificate. So.
He's asking about the reset for you.
Oh, the reset for the email. Okay.
Yeah.
I will go in. I will email you after the webinar and see what we can do about that. There is a reset password. It could be that we don't have the correct, for whatever reason, email for you. And so I'll check on that, Noah, after the webinar here and get back to you. Again, thanks for attending, everybody. I'm going to hang around for a few minutes. If there are any other questions, be sure to chat those in. And I hope you all have a great rest of the day and rest of the week. And Memorial Day weekend's coming up. Yay. All right. Thanks again. I'm going to go ahead and mute the mic now.